going. Hi everyone, I am here with a Christmas story out of our Joys of Christmas book. And the Circle of Kindness, and if I got time, a new Christmas book that I ordered this as well. I got it for free off a Christian place. Okay, this one is by Chanda A. Bell from Atlanta, Georgia. And this one is called Visit from the North Pole. Better be good, and here's why. So you'll see down here there's a bunch of little of those Elf on the Shelf people. And over here is an older lady, really pretty, with two girls jumping up in the air, which I'm guessing are probably her children. With like, I don't know what that is, laying on the ground. I think it's a stuffed turkey, but it could be Santa Claus. No, I think it's a stuffed Elf on the Shelf, sorry. That's what it is. It's a blow-up Elf on the Shelf. I mean, like one of those big Macy balloons. Heck, it might be. They might be there. I don't know. Let's find out, huh? But that's all the pictures for that one, so. Okay. Now that my husband and I had a 2-year-old son, Christmas, along with its traditions, meant more to me than ever. It's always so nice when you have a little kid, you know? I wish we had that. Taylor was getting old enough for me to start making sense of some of them for him. After all, our traditions at this time of year, especially, were supposed to help us be the best we could be in God's eyes, so that our hearts would be open to Him and the gift He gave us that very first Christmas. One morning, we got up early to see Santa and do some shopping. The mall was a zoo, but it was worth it to see Taylor sitting on Santa's lap. "Santa again?" he said when his turn was over. I tried to explain we'd see him next year, but Taylor would have none of that. Santa now! Santa Claus had gotten Taylor excited about Christmas, but I wanted to shape that into something meaningful. "You're a good boy," I told him. "Santa is proud of you, like God is, and every night visit at my mother's final." What? "Santa is proud of you like God is. An overnight visit at my mother's." Finally got Taylor's mind off Santa. "Elf! See? Elf!" he shouted as we gave Gran a hug and headed into the living room. There sat Mom's elf, the same elf that had been a favorite part of Christmas during my childhood, was visiting from the North Pole. Wow, I didn't think it had been around that long. Because these women have to be in their late 20s or 30s. Did you know that Elf on the Shelf been around that long? Time flies, I tell you. The older you get, they say the time goes faster. You never believe that stuff, you know, or it's like when you're younger when people say that. That is so true. When you get older, you realize all that stuff they said was right. And you wish you would have took the advice back then. The same elf that had been my favorite part of Christmas during my childhood was visiting from the North Pole. Mom explained to Taylor. Right after Thanksgiving, that elf came to our house, all the way from Santa's workshop. He has been coming here since your mom was little. Sometimes he sat on the bookcase in the living room. Other times he chose the kitchen or a bedroom to hide in. My brother and sister used to race each other out of bed every morning to see where he was, I said. The elf's job was to talk to Santa and tell him if we'd been good. If we forgot our bedtime prayers, or didn't get along with one another, the elf would fill Santa in. We tried hard to be good and practiced all year round so we'd be ready for the elf's watchful eye. That night, after I finished tucking Taylor into bed, I went downstairs. Mom had brewed tea. Taylor is sure taken with that elf, I said. Perhaps you should call the North Pole and get an elf for your house to remind him to be a sweet, responsible boy like God wants him to be. Not a bad idea, I thought, about all the parents. I thought about all the parents I knew who struggled as much as I did to teach their kids right from wrong. Every family, including mine, would benefit from an elf visit at Christmas time. Oh, I hear Tig over there. We should have got him one. They got little baby elves on the shelf now. They're so cute. Oh, we don't have a regular elf on the shelf either. We don't have, kids. But it's cute. It's a really cute idea. Those little baby elves on the shelf are cute. And then they also got them with little masks on now. I bet Santa would partner with us, Mom said playfully, and that gave me an idea. Maybe we would get even. And that gave me an idea. Maybe he even let us write a story that he could end up sending along with the elves. We both chuckled, feeling like we had stumbled onto something special. We'll write it so all parents and children can understand the lesson of the Christmas elf. Since then, families all over the world have read The Elf on the Shelf. They were the ones. They were the ones who made Elf on the Shelf. That was a tradition in their family before this happened. That's why. The elf hasn't been around that long. As for when they were kids. Their mom just done that back then. Wow.
They're the ones that started it.
Yeah, they're the ones that started the Elf on a Shelf.
Huh.
Since then, families all over the world have read The Elf on the Shelf and made it a Christmas tradition of their own. They sure have. I see it everywhere. I like to think that elves make a parent's job and Santa's a little easier, and I bet it does. Flying off the shelf. The helium balloon elf made its Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I knew it, debut in 2012. Chanda Far Left and her sister Krista Pitts were in New York City with their mom, Carol Abersold, for the send-off. We thought that looked like the Macy's parade, didn't we? Well, it was. Elf on the Shelf was there in 2012. Goodness. I believe I saw him this year, too. He'll probably be in it for gosh knows how long. Wow, so that was our Christmas story tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Some of y'all learned something, too. These people were the ones who made Elf on the Shelf. Chanda A. Bell from Atlanta, Georgia. And her sister and her mom. Her mom's actually the one that got started years ago with her kids there when they were little. See how traditions can be passed on? That tradition was passed on to the world. From their little family years ago to now to the whole world. Several friends of mine have been doing that for years. Thanks to Facebook, we could stay in contact with a lot of people. I hardly ever go to the house, so I, never see anybody really. And I can stay in contact with friends and family and so on, like a lot of other people on Facebook, and see their pictures and everything else. And I've seen several people have Elf on the Shelf there with their kids, and they keep showing where they're hiding them the next night and stuff. It's really cute. Kids love them, they do. Okay, so I'll have to, let's see. The next one looks really good too. The next Christmas story, which God willing will be tomorrow, is Mysterious Ways. The night an angel got his wings. And it is only one page as well. Okay, so, choked myself. So let me mark that. And let me do the circle of kindness, and then we'll see if we have enough time, and I'll read some of the other one I was telling you about. Okay, this one's by, let's see here, we got 3. This one's by Patty Murray from Bowling Green, Florida. I enjoy unexpectedly blessing others. Oh yes, so nice. A local dollar store gives out receipts with coupons for $5 off 25. That's Dollar General. We get those all the time. That can be cashed in on the following Saturday. Yep, it's always on Saturday. I don't think we've ever used one. I always forget, but we need to start doing that. I usually shop at the same store more than once a week. So when I go on Saturday, I take the extra coupons. They let you use more than one at a time. I didn't think they would. Maybe she'll say. I take the extra coupons and give them to the shoppers in line. Oh, yeah, I heard somebody else saying this before, who appeared to have $25 in merchandise in their cart, or leave the extras with the checkout clerk so those extra coupons can be given to other shoppers. That's really nice if they do it. That's nice. It truly warms my heart when the people express gratitude for their unexpected savings. I enjoy blessing them. Wow, I didn't, somebody else does this too, because I've read this in here before. And this is a new magazine. Yeah, this is December 7th, 2020. And that's been months ago, if not a year, that I've read somebody else doing that. That's a good idea. I'll have to start cutting them out. And Sherm's over there like almost every day. I'll have him give them to that girl he talks to over there at the register, and she can pass them out, and people will check out. That's a good idea. Will you do that for me? Why? Okay.
They usually have them laying around anyway.
The next one is by Lacey from Ontario. There's still good in the world. When I was going through a divorce, I was worried about what would happen next in my life. Yeah, that's sad. Especially, when there's little kids involved. While at my lawyer's office having some documents notarized, I told him, I have a hard time believing that any good can come of this. He told me he was sorry for what I was going through, but that things would get better. Then he waived his fee. Didn't make her pay for his services. That was very kind, because lawyers can be very expensive. Why would you do that? I asked. To show you that there's still good in the world, he replied. His kindness made my day. And think about that. See, not all lawyers are bad. That was a very kind thing to do. And the last one is by Randy from Arizona. I was flabbergasted by his kindness. Wow, this guy was really, really surprised by somebody's kindness. What did he do? I was driving home when my tire warning light came on. I went to a tire shop and they found a nail in the tire and patched it. Has everybody been through that in their lives? We have, haven't we, Sherm?
Oh, yeah.
We've had to have tires patched, I don't know how many times. The last time, God willing, we knock on wood, it won't happen again, but it was only $5 for them to patch it. That was years ago. I wonder how much they charge now to patch a tire. I bet you it ain't $5. But that's nice that you can just get a patch like that instead of getting a whole new tire. Oh, it saves a lot of money. Okay, anyway, sorry. A few days later, the same tire was losing pressure again. I took it to another tire shop. The mechanic found 2 more nails in the tire. Man, you better check your driveway or something. Somebody might be putting them there. You know, because people will do that. He said it would have to be replaced and would cost $140 for one tire. See what I mean? Oh, and imagine having to buy 4. And if you got a bigger vehicle, like a truck or something like that, a 4-wheel drive, it's even more. I don't know what kind of vehicle he has here. I told him that was more than half of my unemployment check, since I had to leave my job due to COVID-19 risk. But I called my wife, and we agreed to get the tire. When I told the man, he said the tire was already on my car, no charge. He wanted me to be safe. I was flabbergasted by his kindness. That mechanic put that $140 tire on that man's car and gave it to him for free because he wanted him to be safe. How many people can you say that would do that?
Not many.
Few. Very few. There's still good people out there. We just don't see them as much as we do the bad. And I wish we did. But there's still good people. And we know that by reading stuff like this. Or meeting someone. Like, I was sitting here last night, Sherman and I, and we had the curtains open like we do now, and well, we had the windows open last night too. And Granny Judy came up to the window. And she looked really good. You know, we've been talking about her, Judy Thompson. Her hair looked so good, and she looked good, like she'd been feeling better. She said, "Can you guys open the door?" Because they keep the outside door of our building out here locked. She said, "I got you guys some stuff," and oh my gosh, she had so much stuff that she brought in. It was all food, all kinds of stuff. I don't know why she did that or why, but oh my gosh, a thing of Folgers coffee she brought was like this big. Had like half a ham, one of those bone-in hams, wasn't it? All kinds of stuff she brought. Toilet paper, paper towels. Granny Judy. That, I was like, oh my gosh, it was just good, you know, to see her. She looked so much better, to know that she was, you know, she was doing better. So we got to tell each other Merry Christmas. So that was wonderful, getting to see her last night. So kindness, see? Kindness. We got time to Sherman's going to check. This one I got in the mail for us is by Bill Crowder, like the other one I was reading to you guys, that short devotional with the Bible study.
It's 18.
Okay, I got it. This one shows Joseph and Mary on the donkey, going into Bethlehem on the cover. This one's called Windows on Christmas. So what they can feel, what they see, what they saw, feel what they felt. These books are always like silky. What is it made out of? Okay, so I'm not going to read all of what this is about because I don't want it to take up too much time on there for you guys. So I'm just going to read it in like sections each day to get through it. Up until Christmas. God willing. Okay, so we're going to find out tonight a little bit about who are angels. If you were to ask me that question in the context of everyday life, my knee-jerk response would probably be, they are my favorite baseball team, and they play in Anaheim, California, the Angels. And by the way, they won the 2002 World Series over San Francisco Giants. Unfortunately, much of the current culture thinking about who angels are and what they do is no more biblical accurate than that. From paintings to poems to movies to television shows, it seems that angels need a new press agent. Yeah. They just weren't being well represented. Of course, it helps to remember that their best and most accurate representation comes to us in the pages of the Bible, which sadly a lot of people do not read or listen to. They think the Bible would be boring. If they've never even read the Bible before, they just see Holy Bible, oh, this is a Christian thing. It's got a bunch of laws and stuff in it. They don't know how good the Bible actually is. It's got so many good stories about people's lives that have lived before us, all the way through. It's very entertaining. It tells the truth about everything, but you're entertained as well. It's not boring. Like the men would like it because it's got fighting and wars and stuff in it. It's got a lot of manly stuff in it, and it's just, there's some of everything in the Bible. It's a really, really good book. The best book in the world. Angels are seen throughout the scriptures and are called by a variety of names, including cherubim, seraphim, never heard of that, and living creatures. Sometimes they are described as men, often in shining garments. They are seen guarding Eden, waging war, rescuing Peter from prison, worshiping in the presence of God, and tragically, in the case of some angels, rebelling against God. They carry names like Michael, who is like God. Michael's one of God's archangels. Gabriel, warrior of God. And Lucifer, who is not an archangel anymore. And Lucifer, light bearer, before he became Satan, the adversary. Lucifer was one of God's archangels. That was the devil's name, Lucifer, when he was an angel. He was one of the highest angels. And they say he was beautiful. He was a beautiful man. God loved him. But Lucifer wanted to be more powerful. He wanted to be God. He wanted to take over and be God. And God knows this, of course. And some angels got with him and were on his side. They wanted to overtake God too. So God sent them down, hurled them down to earth. Fallen angels. If you heard that, fallen angels, that's why. Those are, they're down there with the devil now. Those are the fallen angels. That's how it happened. Okay. They are the often mysterious, sometimes merciful servants of God that are at the center of many of his dealings with men and women in the Bible. The word angel itself comes from the Greek term angelos, which is defined as a messenger, envoy, one who is sent, an angel, a messenger from God. The primary definition is messenger, and that is exactly what they often are seen doing in the passages of the Bible. Yeah, they do. They do God's bidding. They do what God wants them to do. They do God's will. Unlike Lucifer and the fallen angels. They were not nice. They were bad. And heaven don't do bad. God don't put up with that. There is no bad in heaven. Sometimes they carry a message of warning as with Sodom and Gomorrah, Genesis 19, who God destroyed with fire because they were so evil in Sodom and Gomorrah. Any kind of bad behavior you can think of was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. The only people that survived from there before God set it on fire and brimstone howling down on it, was Abraham's nephew Lot and his family. But his wife did not actually survive on the journey. She got out of there, but God told them, do not look back. Whatever you do, don't even look back at the city, because he already had fire and brimstone raining down on it. He said, just keep going. But Lot's wife turned and looked, like God told her not to, and she instantly, like that, turned into a pillar of salt. So Abraham and his daughters, or not Abraham, Lot and his daughters, had to carry on. And she was a pillar of salt for disobeying God. Sometimes they carry a message of rescue, as with Sadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in Nebuchadnezzar's fiery furnace, Daniel 3. Sometimes they carry a message of instruction, as with Hagar, Sarah's handmaiden, Genesis 16, who Sarah Sarah had them get together, Abraham, her husband, and her handmaiden Hagar, to have a baby, because Sarah wasn't able to have children. They never had tried all those years. They tried to get pregnant. Sarah, they couldn't have a baby together. So Hagar got pregnant by Abraham and had a son. They named him Ishmael. And God told Abraham, Sarah's going to have a baby. Like next summer or whatever. I can't remember exactly the words, completely on top of my head. But Sarah laughed. She didn't believe it, because she was so old. But just as God said, she did. And she had a son. They named Isaac. And then, Sarah kind of got, kind of jealous and stuff, like you say. But she wanted to make sure Isaac got everything. And Ishmael, didn't get anything, because Isaac was really his biological child. And Ishmael was just like, Abraham loved him, but if you weren't married back then, if they had other kids with somebody, and then they were not married to, they were kind of like shunned or whatever. So they had Hagar go away with Ishmael. He was a little older than he wasn't a baby, and God told Abraham not to worry, that they would be taken care of. Okay. In each of these instances, where we see angels active on earth, they are delivering messages from God. While angels unquestionably do more than simply carry messages, it is impossible to underestimate their critical role as messengers. What?
28.
I'm almost done. Making announcements from heaven to earth. The gospel, good news, was first delivered to the world by angelic messengers during the events surrounding the birth of the Savior, Jesus Christ. Okay guys, we're going to stop there. I finished just in time, I guess. And God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Let's bring those souls to Jesus. Good night, guys. God bless.